Hello to all our wonderful listeners. Welcome back to Furry Stories, the podcast guaranteed to brighten your day with tales of the goofy, the touching, and the oh-so-cuddly antics of our four-legged friends. Have you ever heard the saying, "You don't choose the cat chooses you"? For many cat owners, especially those who have been adopted by a stray, this phrase couldn't be more true. Sometimes destiny works in mysterious ways, leading a little four-legged soul to our doorstep on a day we least expected, as if they've traveled a long way just to tell us, "This is the place, I'm staying here." Today, we're going to dive into an absolutely adorable topic, the stray cat who knocked on the door asking to stay. These are the stories of cats who appear out of nowhere and use all of their clever tricks to become the newest member of the family. If you're ready to smile at their charming persistence, let's get right into it. Listeners, our first story today comes from a woman named Fa, an office worker whose life, up until this point, didn't really involve pets. She lived in a small townhouse and had always thought she wasn't cut out for owning an animal because of her busy schedule. But one day, everything changed. It all began on a rainy Friday night. Fa was relaxing and watching her favorite series when she heard a faint scratching sound at her front door. Scratch, scratch, scrape. At first, she dismissed it as a tree branch blowing in the wind, but the sound was too rhythmic to be random. So she walked to the door and peered through the pee-hole. What she saw was nothing. Perhaps the angle was wrong and she couldn't see the ground. She turned on the porch light, but still saw nothing. Figuring she must have imagined it, she went back to her show. But a few moments later, the sound returned, this time louder and more insistent, as if someone was truly determined to be let in. With a mix of curiosity and caution, Fa decided to slowly crack the door open. And in that very second, she locked eyes with the uninvited guest, a ginger cat. He was a little scruffy and damp from the rain, but his big, amber eyes stared right at her with unwavering confidence. There was no fear in his gaze at all. It was as if he were saying, "Finally, you opened the door, human. I've been waiting." Fa was surprised, but couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. She wasn't heartless enough to leave a cat out in the rain, so she quickly found some milk. She later learned that cow's milk isn't good for cats, but at the moment, her intentions were pure, and poured it into a small bowl. She placed it on the porch, and the ginger cat politely began to drink, without any sense of frantic hunger. When he was finished, he didn't leave. Instead, he sat down on her doormat and began grooming himself with a calm, composed air, as if to say, "I'll be sleeping here tonight, thanks." Fa let him be for the night, but the story didn't end there. The next morning, the ginger cat was still waiting right where she left him. When Fa opens the door to leave for work, he let out a loud, clear meow to greet her and began weaving between her legs as if they'd known each other for 10 years. That evening, when Fa returned home, there he was again, waiting at the door to welcome her back. This went on for several days. Until one evening, Fa left her door open just a crack to let in a cool breeze, and that was the moment the ginger cat had been waiting for. He strode into the house with majestic confidence, inspected every nook and cranny, and then leapt onto Fa's favorite spot on the sofa, curling up as if he owned the place. In that instant, Fa knew two things for sure. She was about to lose her favorite spot on the sofa forever, and her life was about to change completely. She decided to adopt the little ginger cat and named him Boon Long, which in Thai means something like good fortune that wandered its way to her. After hearing the incredibly sweet story of Boon Long, I'm sure many of you, especially the dedicated cat lovers, are smiling from ear to ear. But have you ever wondered why a stray cat suddenly decides to adopt us? What are their criteria for choosing a home, or is it all just fate? In this second segment, we're going to decode the secret behind the phenomenon that many cat lovers jokingly call the universal cat distribution system. In reality, a cat's choice of a home is deeply rooted in instinct. It's not as random as it might seem. Number 1, the signal of safety. the very first thing a cat looks for is safety. A home that is quiet, without loud, sudden noises, without a large dog that could be a threat, or without a fierce neighborhood cat guarding the territory, will be a top contender. Cats are highly cautious creatures. They assess the environment around a house first. If a home seems friendly and secure, they will begin to investigate more closely. They're like little furry real estate scouts looking for the perfect location. Number 2. A reliable source of food. Of course, a good meal is a major factor. If a cat receives food from a particular house even once, it will remember that this location is a reliable food source and will keep coming back. If we feed them regularly, it becomes a routine, and the cat will feel more secure and begin to form a bond with the place and the person. What starts as a quick stop for dinner can turn into a place for a nap, and eventually, they might just decide to move in permanently. Number 3. Friendly human body language. Would you believe that cats can read our body language? They can sense which humans are friendly and non-threatening. Someone who speaks in a soft, gentle voice, avoids direct eye contact, which is a challenge in cat language, and moves slowly will earn a cat's trust much easier. This is exactly what happened in Fa's story. She didn't shoo him away. Instead, she offered help, which sent a very positive signal to Boonlong. Number 4. Special instincts and scent memory. Some theories also suggest that cats might be drawn to the lingering scent of a previous pet who lived in the house, or perhaps it's a special intuition that tells them a kind human lives there. Their senses are far more acute than we can fully understand. So, the cat distribution system isn't just about fate or magic. It's a thoughtful decision-making process based on a cat's instincts. They choose homes where they feel safe, where there's food, and where there's a human they think they can get along with. So, if a cat ever shows up at your door, you can be proud. It means you and your home have passed their very strict selection process. You are the chosen one. Welcome back to the final segment of Furry Stories. We've heard the story of how Boonlong chose his home, and we've learned the reasons behind this clever feline behavior. In this segment, we're going to talk about what happens after. After we accept the cat's proposal and open our doors and hearts to them, how do our lives change? I'm sure that any listener who has found themselves becoming a cat servant without planning it will be nodding along to everything I'm about to say. 1. From a quiet house to a lively home. Bringing a cat into your home is like instantly adding color and life. The silence you used to come home to is now replaced by a tiny meow at the door. You now have a soft, furry body weaving around your legs. You'll find random cat toys on the floor to trip over, and you might even discover a masterpiece of modern art in the form of scratch marks on your sofa. Even though it adds a bit of chaos, it's a chaos filled with happiness and charm. 2. You become a cat expert without realizing it. You go from knowing nothing about cats to researching them like a PhD student. Which cat food brand has the best ingredients? Which cat litter is best for odor control? When are vaccinations due? When is the best time to get them neutered? You start reading articles, watching videos, and joining cat people groups on Facebook to exchange information. Before you know it, you can diagnose that strange coughing sound as a simple fur ball, nothing to worry about. It's a rapid skill upgrade in the art of being a cat servant. 3. You learn about unconditional love. The love a cat gives might not be as overtly expressive as a dog's, but when they look at you and give you a slow blink, also known as a cat kiss, or when they start kneading your lap with their paws, or when they lie next to you and let out a deep, rumbling purr, those moments are the purest and most sincere declarations of love. They teach us that love doesn't always need grand gestures or words. Sometimes just sharing a safe, quiet space together is more than enough. For a stray cat to place its trust and its entire life in our hands is truly an honor. It's a huge change that brings responsibility, but at the same time, it brings an incredible amount of joy, warmth, and pure love that fills our lives in ways we never thought possible. And that's our story for today on the stray cat who knocked on the door asking to stay. What did you think?
Whether it's the tale of Boone Long or the reasons why cats choose us, it all goes to show that the world of our pets is full of magic and touching moments. If you ever find yourself as the chosen one, with a strange cat asking for help at your door, the first thing I'd recommend is to take them to a veterinarian for a checkup. This is to see if they already have an owner by scanning for a microchip and to check for any illnesses that could be passed to other pets or even to you. And if you are ready, in terms of your time, your space, and your finances, opening your door to them is like giving a second chance at life to a deserving soul. You might think that you are saving a cat, but believe me, in many ways, that cat will end up saving and healing you in ways you could never expect. Thank you for tuning in to Furry Stories today. I hope these stories have brought a smile to your face and warmth to your heart. Join us again next time for more adorable tales from our four-legged friends. Until then, goodbye.